Now, the one story that's hogged a lot of attention and generated a lot of concern amongst large parts of our audience is the story of a delivery boy from Zomato who tested positive. Now, this delivery boy had been going around various households over the past several days making deliveries. Each of those households have now been quarantined. Zomato says they didn't know, and very naturally, that this boy had coronavirus. Now, the point is, how safe are deliveries that you're making to your homes, and how can you try and make it safer? We'll do a deep dive over the first part of this broadcast, but let me get you the report filed by our colleagues from across the national capital who are looking at this one story that's got everyone spooked.
The national capital is in a tizzy after a pizza delivery boy tested positive for coronavirus. The delivery boy, employed at a restaurant in South Delhi's Malviya Nagar, was tested on April the 14th after showing symptoms.
3-4 दिन पहले की बात है, हमें एक पिज़्ज़ा डिलीवरी बॉय जो है वो उसका रिजल्ट आया हमारे पास और वो पॉजिटिव पाया गया। करीब 1 महीने पहले इसको फर्स्ट सिम्टम आए थे 28 मार्च के अराउंड, और 5 अप्रैल के आसपास इसको फीवर ख़त्म हो गया था। अभी एक्टिव डिजीज़ इसके पास केवल कफ की पड़ी हुई है, तो ये राजीव गांधी सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल में इसको एडमिट किया हुआ।
The delivery boy's test results have sparked big concern from the health department. He had delivered food to 72 homes over the past few days. Now all of those homes are in quarantine.
उसके साथ जितने 17 लोग थे, जो उसके साथ जितने भी काम करने वाले को वर्कर्स थे, सबको इंस्टीट्यूशनल क्वारंटाइन दिल्ली सरकार के क्वारंटाइन सेंटर में क्वारंटाइन किया गया है, और साथ ही साथ जो 72 लोगों को इन्होंने डिलीवरी दी थी उन सबको होम क्वारंटाइन कर दिया गया है।
Zomato says some of the orders for the restaurant where the infected delivery boy worked were routed through it. The food delivery company added if the person was infected at the time of delivery. It has, however, assured customers on its efforts on safe delivery. Pizza chain Domino's, which is not the affected restaurant, says it is taking precautions to make all its deliveries safe. Shops and houses in and around the restaurant where the delivery boy is working are being disinfected.
पब्लिक एरिया क्योंकि मदर डेयरी यहाँ है, मार्केट पास में है, प्लस हॉस्पिटल वेरी क्लोज बाय, so every day this road is being sanitized. But now this delivery boy has come positive, so we have made the houses also sanitized.
पहली तो उनको ये ऑर्डर होना चाहिए कि घर में ना आए, बाहर से डिलीवर करें। दूसरा, वो अगर टेस्टेड हैं तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, उनके पास एक आईडी टाइप का कुछ होना चाहिए कि आई एम कोरोना टेस्टेड। ये इसमें 2-3 दिन के अंदर ये मैनेज हो जाएगा। उनको डबल रैप में ले जाना चाहिए, कोई भी डिलीवरी हो, और एक रैप को उन्होंने अपने हाथ से छूना है और अंदर वाला रैप जो है वो कस्टमर को देना है। ये बेस्ट प्रिवेंशन है इसका, कोई भी चीज़ घर में आ रही है।
The delivery boy's infection has renewed fears among people who had resumed ordering food online. Food delivery apps now face a fresh challenge of winning back the trust of customers. With Ashutosh and Chirag in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, this is of deep concern, but there is also no reason to panic. Yet, we need to assess where we are at and what needs to be done to ensure that if we're ordering in, whether it's a meal or a pizza, we are as safe as can be. Joining me on this broadcast, Joint Secretary of the National Restaurants Association of India, founder of the group Chayos, Nitin Saluja. Welcome. With us also is Dr. Swapnil Parekh. He's an author and founder of doityourself.health. Amit Bhargava is one of those customers who placed an order from this particular delivery boy. He's now been placed in quarantine in Delhi's Azad apartment. I want to show you what happened and then start this conversation. Now remember, this potentially could happen to any of us because a lot of people are ordering in. Now this is the route that was taken. So there's a South Delhi food joint. The pizza was prepared over here. The delivery boy came, he picked up the pizza and then he delivered it not just to one family but to 72 families. Now each of those families has been put in quarantine. Joining us on this broadcast are our 3 guests, and I want to go across to each one of them first. I'll start with Amit Bhargav, because if you can start by explaining to everyone who's watching what happened and what are you making of the response after it emerged that the delivery boy who delivered your food has tested positive for coronavirus. What's happening with you right now?
Right now I'm home quarantine. Though I've been home quarantined, I have not been told what happens next. Also, because my society doesn't allow anyone to enter beyond the security gate, and I can't go out, so there has been no food at all. So that's another problem. But why this problem in the first place itself? And the society stopped any delivery from 19th March. So no delivery man, no mineral water, no Bisleri, nothing can come in. Everything at the society gate. So if you don't have water, you can't cook. If you can't cook, you have to order from outside. And if you have to order from outside, then there is a risk involved. And then the risk multiplies because you can't have a contactless delivery at your doorstep where the delivery man can keep the food outside your door, steps back, and you collect the delivery. It is at the gate where the distance is less, and that's, I think, very critical because either of the person can, if they are infected, can pass infection from one to another. And I think that's something that the authorities need to look at. I mean, there's restrictions put by RWAs and cooperative group housing societies need to go immediately. They are punishable under 51B of the Disaster Management Act and 188 of the IPC. In fact, Rahul, what I'd like to also say is that the MHA order, both of them, the one issued on 24th March and the one issued yesterday, are both in front of me. And if you look at 4A of the earlier order and 13.3 of the current order, they say that home delivery should be encouraged and facilitated. Now, home deliveries are critical for the success of lockdown.
Sure. No, so I understand what you're saying, but I want to go across to Dr. Swapnil Parekh and ask him, when people see this report on India Today television, there are two thoughts that will come to their heads. One, should I just stop ordering in? Do you think that's the wiser thing to do? There are many people for whom that's not an option. They live by themselves as bachelors. They need food. Maybe their cooks aren't around, their buys aren't around, and therefore that's a problem as well. The other is, if we are going to order in, do you have a set of practical guidelines that you believe people should follow to try and make it as safe as possible to be ordering in? Dr. Parekh.
Thank you for having me back on your show, Rahul. It's a pleasure to be here again. It's a great question. And what I will say is what the WHO and the FDA have said. Both the WHO and the FDA say that it is safe to order food in as long as you follow certain precautions. That being said, common sense does tell you that the more social contact you have, the more likely it is that you could pick up an infection. After the show, I'll tweet out, the FDA has put up a great infographic on steps that you can take to stay safe when you order food. And I'll tweet an infographic, I'll share it with you. This is my Twitter right here, Swapnil Parekh, NEILPARIKH. On Twitter, I'll post it out. You can share it with your viewers. It's a great infographic, how you can stay safe. I want to come to a little, just explain something. So about 30 to 70% of all infection transmission with this virus is either asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic. That means it occurs by people who aren't sick or who are infected but aren't yet sick. So that's about 50% of the transmission chain that is invisible. So you can see why this is a problem. Your delivery agent, people you work with, anyone could be infected, could infect you, and you won't even know they're sick. More importantly, a large number of infections are very mild. You might just have a slight sore throat, a very mild cough, and people might ignore these symptoms, like it seems that happened in this case. But at the same time, it's really important to remember that many people depend on essential services from delivery agents. So when we make recommendations like don't order things, we have to be careful because that can have a tremendous amount of trickle-down effects. To give you an example, let's say we say that don't order food from out. It's okay when it's pizza, but what if it's rice? What if it's basic staples that people need? They can't go out of their house to get these things. So we need to find a right balance between controlling infection, being practical.
So you're making an important point that not ordering in, especially given the lockdown, is not really an option. So you have to find a way of being smart about it. Nitin Saluja, Chayos is doing some deliveries as well. Plus, I want to understand, as a representative of the Restaurants Association of India, everyone who's watching is now deeply concerned. How do I know that all members of your association are following basic hygiene rules? How can we be certain of that?
Rahul, thank you for having me here. Let me begin by saying that globally, delivery has been termed as the safest possible option of getting all the essential items to your home. It is better to have a small number of delivery agents out there on the street than many millions of citizens out there to be able to take care of your essentials. Similarly, I think what has been said by Swapnil, what has been said otherwise is that it should not be looked at as an event that should lead to such stark kind of reactions whether delivery should be banned, because then that argument just holds true for everything that's essential, right? As far as a representing member of NRAI, I would like to share that restaurants are doing several checks at their end. I would just name a few, and we at Chayos are doing it, and I know of many other restaurants who are partners in NRAI who are doing the same. To begin with, measuring body temperature of our team members. We do it every 2 hours, and we also make it a point to print it on our bills so that the customer is able to also understand who are the people who are involved in making that order and what they safe. We do it every 2 hours. We check the temperature of the delivery partner who picks up that order, and that order is handed over to the delivery partner in a contactless way. We are doing all the basic hand hygiene which are prescribed by WHO, like every hourly kind of hand wash, and so are many other restaurants out there. And in fact, our delivery channel partners like Swiggy and Zomato, they have also gone to great lengths to be able to verify any restaurant that is claiming to be able to do these kind of precautionary activities. Are they really doing it or not? So as a community, I think hygiene is being taken with utmost importance. I don't think there are loose ends, and despite millions of deliveries to people's homes that have happened over the course of last 2-3 weeks, yesterday we come across a case where the scenario was not perfect.
No, that's a good point that you make. I think that's a very strong point, and I want to amplify that as well. Just consider the number of deliveries all of us have made, and so far there's been one reported case of something going wrong. You need to be mindful of that, not press the panic button and say I'm not going to be ordering in at all. And we need to show some compassion for these delivery boys, because they've been under very difficult circumstances. Remember, the kind of restaurants they eat at are not working at this moment, and as a result of which, and number of orders are coming down, they're not being paid their salaries. It's a real mess. Our colleagues spoke to some of these delivery boys to try and find out how tough life has been for them while they've been out and about trying to make deliveries, literally being frontline workers at a time when there's a lethal virus in the air and everyone is looking at them with suspicion.
While you are locked down and safe at home, spare a thought for the person who delivers your food the next time you order online. Most of those working for food delivery services are already under stress, working long hours to make ends meet. In the time of coronavirus, as most Indians stay home, they are out on the streets, visiting various restaurants and homes and risking their lives.
काम करने में डर तो है ही, लेकिन कर भी क्या सकते हैं, मजबूरी है हमारी और परेशानी तो है ही, और कंपनी हमें कुछ दे नहीं रही है।
घर वाले इस समय तो बिल्कुल कह रहे हैं कि आप बाहर काम ना करो। हमारे यहाँ आना बहुत बड़ी मजबूरी है, क्योंकि हमें कंपनी कोई मिनिमम बेस नहीं दे रही है।
छोटे बच्चे हैं, हम ये सोच के आ जाते हैं चलो दूध का ही खर्चा निकल जाए, दूध का ही आ जाए, थोड़ा ये आ जाए, इसलिए बाकी तो है नहीं काम बिल्कुल भी।
The risk has now increased as most orders are being placed from hospitals, which means these delivery boys are now even more vulnerable.
ये लेकिन हॉस्पिटल्स के जो पास में हॉस्पिटल औरमल हुआ, ये पंथ हुआ, जितने भी हॉस्पिटल आसपास में उनके ऑर्डर आ रहे हैं, और बाकी कस्टमर जैसे ऑर्डर करते हैं वो बहुत ही कम।
ये लोग बाग डर रहे हैं बाहर का खाना खाने से, गिने चुने रेस्टोरेंट खुल रहे हैं और उनके पास भी ऑर्डर बहुत कम आ रहे हैं मैडम।
Since the coronavirus outbreak, most food delivery personnel are taking all precautions.
सुबह सुबह जब आते हैं तो हमारी डेली गाड़ी हम वॉश करते हैं, सैनिटाइज यूज करते हैं, हैंड ग्रिप पे सैनिटाइज लगाते हैं.
हमारी कंपनी ने हमें पहले ही बता रखा है, ऐप में हमारे आ जाता है कि आपको डिस्टेंस रखना है.
But in Mumbai, delivery boys and girls complain that the online service food providers have not given them any protective gear and that they've been left to fend for themselves.
मिनिमम गारंटी देगी, जो हमारा ऑर्डर है रहे या ना रहे. कंपनी हमसे वादा कि आपको आपका मिनिमम गारंटी 400 रुपया मिलेगा, पर वो कंपनी हमको मिनिमम गारंटी भी नहीं दे रही हमारी.
कि आपको अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए प्रोटेक्टिव गियर के नाम पर क्या क्या दिया गया?
कुछ नहीं दिया गया, सिर्फ बोला है कि आप खरीदिए, हम आपको पे करेंगे.
सर, हम लोग को कोई कहीं से कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, ना नेता से ना कंपनी से. हम लोग को खुद अपना पेट पालना है और हम लोग इसीलिए रोड पे उतरे, हमारी जान को खतरा देके, क्योंकि हमको अनाज कोई हमको मांगेगी तो हमको कोई देगा नहीं.
Putting themselves at risk to ensure that you get your food. These food delivery personnel are fighting all odds to keep themselves and you safe. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now that report really brought out the kind of practical difficulties that these delivery boys are facing, and what we need to remember, Nitin Saluja, and I think that's a point that you'd like to build on, is that if there's too much stigma, if some of these delivery boys get attacked or spoken rudely to, that will go viral, and then you can keep placing as many orders as you want. Nobody's coming in to deliver them.
Correct, Rahul. And I would like to just say a very simple thing. We are fighting an invisible enemy. Had there been a protocol, anything other than best practices laid out, I think people can strive towards going towards perfection. But in the absence of anything clear, who are you fighting? What does it look like, right? I think restaurants and delivery partners, they are doing a lot many more steps that would have been otherwise done. I would like to make one more point, Rahul. Placing online orders gives us one more additional safety feature, let me say it like that, and let me call that traceability. You know who was the delivery agent that came to your home, where else did that delivery agent go. So instead of hunting out there in the dark as to who was the epicenter, who should be quarantined, and who should be those associated additional people who should be quarantined, I think online deliveries bring you that traceability that allows you to sharpshoot on who needs to be quarantined first and who are those associated infected people.
No, but the point that you're making is post. If you may identify who needs to be quarantined, but I'm much more concerned, Dr. Parekh, about how can I stop myself from having to be in quarantine. That's my primary concern. If there's food coming in, and very often over the weekends we're ordering in, I don't want to be in a situation where the delivery boy later turns out to be COVID-19 positive. Our key focus has to be on trying to ensure that between the time we collect that food and we eat that food, we're as hands-off and as safe as we possibly can be.
So I think it's not just the responsibility of restaurants, it's not just the responsibility of delivery partners, and it's not just the responsibility of the consumer. It's the responsibility of all three. We need to work together. So, of course, restaurants can take certain measures, like were just pointed out, making sure that their workers aren't infected, screening them regularly, teaching them about hand hygiene. If they're sick, they need to stay home, isolate themselves, not touch their face. Delivery partners can also take certain precautions. Earlier on India Today itself, we learned that some delivery partners only give their employees one mask or no mask at all. I have a proposition. It's a simple one. Give your delivery partners 5 masks. What you can do is label them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wear mask number 1 on day 1. Take it out, put it in the sun, or keep it somewhere. Use mask 2 on the second day, mask 3 on the third day. By the time you come back to mask 1,
can masks be reused? Especially like if you've got like an N95 mask, if you have these homemade masks, is it okay to just wash them and reuse them? Does that work?
No, not wash them. None of what we're talking about right now is the ideal scenario. Right? We don't have enough masks for an ideal scenario. But what we do know is that if you keep the masks aside in a safe way, so when you fold them, don't touch the outside of the mask, put them in a bag like a paper bag or something, and leave them aside for a while. the virus usually gets destroyed within 72 hours or so. So when it's been about 5 days, there's a good chance that that mask isn't infectious anymore.
Why can't I just wash
it?
Why can't I wash it?
When you wash it, it's going to get damaged, and the mask isn't going to work as well. If you wash it, it's going to cause holes or tears or damage the mask. So that's going to cause a problem. There are other things we can do in hospitals, but most people aren't going to have that kind of equipment to decontaminate masks.
Okay.
Other than masks, hand hygiene is so important. So if you're I know there's contactless delivery, so maybe leave a bottle of hand sanitizer out, or if you don't have hand sanitizer, just soapy liquid, with water, so that the delivery partner who comes can at least wash his hands after he leaves your meal. It's kind of paying it forward, so the next person is going to be safe. That's another strategy you can take.
Okay.
And maybe if you're a high-risk individual, like if you're elderly or diabetic or hypertensive, then you really need to think strongly about whether you want to take that additional risk.
Oh, so if you're a high-risk person, try not to order in. Otherwise, try and step up the level of vigilance. Dr. Swapnil Parikh, Nitin Salu, Jamit Bhargav for joining me on the Newstrack tonight. Thank you very much. It's not just ordering in. At this moment, even going grocery shopping is like going out to do war.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kanwal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.